I don't know, Beast. I don't think it's gonna work. Okay. Let's see if anybody's out there.
Ruined city skylines and Armageddon on your doorstep. I'm your host, the lone transmitter. And coming to you live from Yellow Brook City, you're listening to Wasteland Free Radio. Welcome, survivors, weary travelers, and self-described road warriors to another beautiful evening at the end of the world. It's a balmy 57 degrees out in the Radlands today, or 135 Fahrenheit if you're one of those people stuck in the old ways. Solar radiation is of course still at a maximum, but the clouds of volcanic ash overhead should protect us from the worst of it. Inside the protective dome, we are safe, and sitting pretty at a refreshing 42 degrees. I'm still waiting for the full weather report to come in, and we'll take a better look at that a little later on. I got in pretty late. I was out all night installing that new signal relay on top of Danny Sixfinger's old glove factory. I then took a quick stroll to test the new signal, and it looks like we're all set. So those of you outside the protective dome should be hearing me loud and clear. Oops, maybe not. Ow. Looks like I have a few bugs to work out. I did run into a little trouble collecting the parts for the new relay. It involved a shady deal with a couple of cannibals, but I think we're all set now. And the best part is that nobody had to get eaten alive to make it happen. Of course, the main entrance to the city is still closed, so I had to go the back way. I didn't even find any gloves in old Sixfinger's glove factory. But I found some tools, some assorted chemicals, and oh yeah, I found some real, authentic leather. Like leather from an animal. I haven't seen this in ages. Danny Sixfingers has been gone for years, and nobody knows where he went. So anything left in his shop is fair game for scavengers like me. But I'd be willing to bet he'd rather have me have it than any raiders looking to make a quick buck. He knows I'll make good use of it. Alright, I'm just gonna go grab some coffee and...
It's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
I guess I'll try to find some the next time I head outside. And if you are outside the dome and you're looking to come back in, please remember that the Freeman Street Bridge is still closed, and it looks like it might be a while. If you're out and about and need to get back in, you'll have to go the long way, just like I did. It's not too bad, it's just kind of wet and kind of gross, but remember to hit up a decon shack as soon as you get back into town. Yes, I know decontamination sucks and it kind of burns your skin, but we're 43 days without a radioactive incident, and I would love to keep that streak going. But back to the Freeman Street Bridge. That surprise meteor storm a couple of days ago caused a ton of damage. Local authorities said they would have the debris cleared by tomorrow, but I don't think so because it is still a mess. Nobody could even try to get through there right now. So let's be patient and let the cleanup happen, and just remember to decontaminate on your way in. No big deal. We're going to take a look at our traffic right now, and before I say anything else, I don't recommend going out and traveling the roads of the Radlands at all. Even if you are one of those road warriors, there's a lot out there that no one is prepared for. It's not for the faint of heart. But if any of you are brave enough to venture out beyond the protective dome, here's a look at traffic. And hopefully none of you will be surprised to learn that all of the trucks, cars, and tanks on the roads are still at a dead stop. We haven't seen a fuel truck in ages, and if there's no fuel for our vehicles, the vehicles just don't move. I think it's kind of odd that I have to explain that, but not many people here actually remember what it's like to have a functioning car. But we do have some activity just west of the city, and let me tell you, it is adorable. I don't know if anyone actually knows where the old Little League Park is, except for me, but it's really hard to get to, and I wouldn't actually recommend it. You have to weave in and out of all of these bandit camps, and it's really not safe. But the last time I was there, I found an abandoned Chevy Corsica, and inside that Corsica, I found a family of feral dogs. Back during a legendary period of time called the 90s, the Chevy Corsica was considered the height of American luxury. And these dogs have found one and made it their home. If you ask me, these dogs have impeccable taste. That's not the only thing you'll find at the ballpark, though. If you're looking for an improvised weapon, there are tons of baseball bats with nails stuck through them. And if you're looking for some expired bubble gum to chew up and use to seal your fallout shelter, that's the right place to do it. The Little League Park gift shop has gifts and sundries abound. But again, be very careful on your way out there, and it is not my fault if you get eaten by anything. Alright, I'm going to pull up some of my emails here. We've got some fan mail, and I've got an email from WeatherBot95 apologizing for not detecting the meteor storm earlier. Oh, they hope no one got hurt. That's incredibly sweet, 95. And don't worry, the bridge was empty when it happened, and everybody was safe. We know you're doing the best you can. For those of you who don't know him, WeatherBot95 is the oldest of the weatherbots still in service to this day. They might not be perfect, but neither are we. He's actually outside the dome right now trying to get the forecast for the next couple of days. He's risking his tiny metallic life for us. And here's an email from the Doomsday Country Club. Oh, this ought to be good. You heard me right. Doomsday Country Club. And they're inviting everybody to join them for an ice cream social at the old Johnston Mannequin Factory. Everybody is welcome to attend. If I might offer a word of caution, I guess I know the name Doomsday Country Club sounds benign and an ice cream social sounds like a lot of fun, but there are no dairy farms here in Yellow Brook City, and I wouldn't trust any cream imported from a farm out in the Radlands. But that's not really what I'm worried about. I met the leader of the Doomsday Country Club once, and he calls himself the Great Reverend Supreme, and he claims to be in contact with some being from beyond the great beyond, who transcends space and time, and that alone is enough to keep me from attending normally. If I'm called the Lone Transmitter, then he can call himself whatever he wants. But it's the whole Grand Reverend thing. I don't think they're your average country club, and I hear, indescribable noises coming from that place almost every night, and it just gives me the creeps. And we're talking about the apocalypse here. I've experienced a lot of wild stuff, and a country club shouldn't faze me at all. But you know what they say? If it looks like a duck, talks like a duck, and has a leader who claims to speak for an all-powerful higher being like a duck, it's probably a duck, right? Now, I know we all have questions, like, should we worry about the Doomsday Country Club? Hasn't the world already ended? Those are great questions, and I intend to find out, because I am 100% going to that ice cream social. I'm not going to have any of the ice cream. I just want to see what it's all about. Oh, well, it looks like local authorities have sent me an email that just says, these were normal meteors, and we have nothing to worry about. Please don't ask us any questions. So there you have it, I guess. Nothing to worry about. And local authorities have our best interest at heart, after all. Anyway, I guess the last host of this station used to be some kind of a scientist, because there's some lab equipment here, and I didn't really know what any of it was for, and then I found out it's all water testing equipment. So, I don't know how long it's been here, but I figured out how to use it, and once I got it all working, I ran a test on the water. Why not? We all know water is supposed to be purple, not like the vibrant gold that we're used to seeing here in Yellow Brook. But if these results are correct, and trust me, I followed these instructions to the letter, our water is only considered, quote, barely toxic. It's taken Dynamo Science Labs years to figure this out, so we're well on our way to having some actual water. That's awesome. And I know what this sounds like. This is good news for us humans, right? But what about mutants? What about mutant kind? Can they drink this water? Well, the answer is yes. This water is actually perfect for them, at least according to these tests. So, if you're listening to this out there in the Radlands, we've got relatively clean water and plenty of abandoned buildings for you to inhabit. Yellow Brook City isn't that bad, and we are 43 days without a radioactive incident. It's not too shabby. We are that much closer to being a thriving, sustainable city for the future, and none of this would have been possible without the fine brains and robots over at Dynamo Science Labs. Hats and cybernetic headgear off to everyone over there for cleaning up our drinking water. We can't thank you enough. If you haven't already gotten your submissions in to Dynamo Science Labs, it's not too late to sign up for the semi-annual science fair. It's such a thrill for me to see the finest minds in all of the Radlands converge, and in some cases merge, to keep us on the bleeding edge of science. Now this year, the winner gets a year-long internship at Dynamo Science Labs. They'll have access to a particle accelerator, rocket fuel, and more robotics than they can shake a soldering iron at. The runners-up will receive a year's supply of devastation rations. It's not much, but it's something. But just take this as a warning. I'm pretty sure they're gonna disqualify any science projects that use time travel. We can't afford another mishap, alright? We don't want to deal with that again. So, a couple of days ago, I was on this salvage job outside the dome. I needed some more copper wire for that transmission relay. And sure enough, I came across like a robot graveyard, and all of them were intact. I'm guessing an EMP went off in the vicinity, and these robots just couldn't withstand it. Their circuit boards were fried, but their wiring was good to go, so I paid my respects and I took what I needed, but I left some for the next scrapper, because that's what good Wastelanders do. Everything seemed fine, but then I stood up and I saw somebody staring at me. I've run into people out in the Wastelands before. It's not that big a deal. Most of them are safe and responsible. They're just looking for a place to sleep, or maybe they're looking for some salvage. But you never know. They might be infected, they might be cannibals, they might be cultists. You never really know. So I generally try to keep my distance as best I can. But this person was getting closer to me, and I was getting nervous. I thought about running away for a second, but I wouldn't have gotten anywhere because this traveler rode a horse. Like an actual horse, with 4 legs, a mane, a tail, and 2 heads, just like the ones you've heard about. And they wore a black canvas duster and a wide-brimmed hat, and they had this, like, mechanical breathing mask that covered their eyes too. I couldn't see their face at all. And they were ready for anything the Radlands could throw at them. And they stopped like 10 feet away from me and just jumped off the horse, and I was terrified. They reached into their jacket, and I was ready to say goodbye, but they pulled out an envelope and placed it on the ground in front of me. Then they climbed back onto their majestic horse, and they rode west into what I assume would have been the sunset, if in fact we could see the sun through the cloud of ash in the sky. Now that we're all here, let's open up this envelope. I haven't gotten any mail since before the Great Devastation, so I'm kind of curious as to what this could be. Oh, it looks like a data tape. Where did they get this from? I thought I was the only person around who had this kind of technology. I mean, I had to build this myself. Well, I will just plug this into my retro resequencer and pretend that it didn't come from some mysterious badass that I met in the Radlands. Oh, have I not talked about my retro resequencer yet? So every once in a while I'm out on the road, I come across these data tapes, and if I ever see a merchant with one of them, I'll buy them, because I'm one of the only people who can salvage the data. I built this retro resequencer just so I could do that. The resequencer is already running a project, so I can't really do 2 of them at once. I don't have enough power for that. But while we wait for it to finish up its current project, let's take a look at the wide world of post-apocalyptic sports. Alright, there's really not that much going on in sports right now. As you could imagine, most of the major sports teams were kind of obliterated. We don't really have any stadiums anymore. All we're left with is this thing called nuke ball, and it is the only sport that anybody cares about out here. So after an entire season of failure, our very own Yellow Brook Tanners are going to be bringing it to the New Spring City Water Monsters at next week's nuke ball match. I cannot wait for this to happen. I have been waiting for this match all year, and I cannot wait to wipe them off the face of the earth. Not literally, like that, that already happened. We don't, no, that's not what I meant. I'm sorry, guys. That was rude. I shouldn't have said that. Next week, the Tanners and the Water Monsters, and we will see you on the battleground. Alright, let's check in with WeatherBot95 for a brief look at our forecast. And I know he failed to predict the meteor storm that took out the bridge, but nobody's perfect. Besides, he really is risking his life out there beyond the dome, and the pressure might just be getting to him. And I don't mean the bizarre changes in atmospheric pressure that we're used to seeing, but it's dangerous out there for a robot these days. So let's cut him a little bit of slack. But WeatherBot95 isn't responding. Hang on, I hope he's not lost out there. Oh, hang on. It looks like I just got another email from local authorities regarding the Freeman Street Bridge. Maybe the road is open again. Oh. I guess excavation drones have uncovered a large metallic egg-shaped object from beneath the collapsed bridge. No word if this object indeed fell from the sky, or if it was simply buried beneath the earth the entire time. But engineers from Dynamo Science Labs are on the way to examine it now, and citizens are being asked to stay home while the egg investigation begins, and then they thank us for our patience. Well, you heard the local authorities. We're being told to stay put while they figure out what's going on. I, for one, know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to head over to Apocalypse Wow Juice Bar and Human Arcade. That's right, today's episode is sponsored by none other than Apocalypse Wow. Are you looking for a place where nobody knows your name, but nobody scans your brain? Where you can escape from your spouse and your adorable half-mutant children for a little while to enjoy a nice glass of hot iridescent liquid? Apocalypse Wow Juice Bar and Human Arcade has been around longer than most establishments in the Radlands, and they promise to keep serving the same amazing hot iridescent liquid until the end of the end times. Apocalypse Wow Juice Bar and Human Arcade. Enjoy the hot iridescent liquid. It's just about time for me to get going for the night, and they're likely shutting off the power soon anyway. But my retro resequencer just spit out another song from before the devastation. So taking you out today is a band from the remains of the capital of the old Empire State. They're called Yeah Universe, and this is their song, Stillwater. I'm the Lone Transmitter, and you've been listening to Wasteland Free Radio, your only source for news at the end of the world. The seasons have changed and we are on our way to nuclear winter, but we are 85 days without a radioactive incident, and I could not be more proud of all of you. I'm your host, the Lone Transmitter, and coming to you live from Yellow Brook City, you're listening to Wasteland Free Radio. I've been on the road quite a bit these past couple of weeks. I've seen some pretty cool things, and I've actually accomplished a lot. I installed that new signal transmission relay. Even people in Lithium City can listen to the show now. It's crazy. I didn't expect it to work that well. I siphoned just about a gallon of gas from an old pickup truck, so now all I need is a car. Maybe someday I'll find a working Chevy Corsica. A guy can hope, right? I even discovered an abandoned water park. I can't wait to explore this place, but I'm gonna be careful. It kind of freaks me out a little bit. I mean, really, who abandons a place with that much fresh, clean, drinkable water? Oh, I bet it tasted amazing. All that pre-Great Devastation water. I even went all the way to Lithium City the other day. Yeah, down by the river. Yeah, I want to buy some more battery packs so I can keep the show going when they turn off the power. They shut off the power earlier and earlier these days. So as I was leaving Lithium City, I heard a couple of people talking about a band of raiders that showed up. Now, we haven't had a raider problem in a long time, so I was a little skeptical. The roads have been pretty safe these past couple of weeks. This group sounded kind of terrifying until I heard the name of their leader, Rough Roxanne. You might remember her. She was the one who got a little too tipsy at the costume party a few weeks ago, and she wouldn't leave Weatherbot 95 alone. Like, she followed him around for the entire night. That's her. That's Rough Roxanne. So she bothered 95 all night, but she also had the audacity to dress as a zombie for a costume party. You just can't do that. Don't do that. It's in really poor taste. So she followed Weatherbot 95 around all night. And I think she asked him to take her home so she could, quote, his screws loose. And I've never seen a robot blush before. Now I have. It's kind of weird, kind of funny. He actually did take her home. He laid her in bed and gave her a glass of water, and then he rejoined the party. Yeah, I think that's the new fearless leader of this new band of raiders, so we probably don't have anything to worry about, but looks can be deceiving. If you're on the road, keep a sharp eye. Speaking of Weatherbot 95, I don't have a forecast for you this week. He hasn't checked in. I don't know where he is. I mean, he's probably fine. He's been around a lot longer than I have, and he does have a distress beacon, so if he is in danger, we'll know. But I haven't heard from him, and I can't find him on my tracker, so he's lost somewhere, I guess? I don't know. I guess I just miss him. I really like him, you know? You don't meet robots like him all the time, and it would be a real shame if something happened to him. Anyway, no forecast today, but, I was outside a little while ago, and, the ash clouds are still above us, keeping us safe from the sun. As far as I know, there's no fallout coming. We should be okay. But if you hear from Weatherbot 95, can you send me an email? Because I would really like to know where he is. Oh, hang on. I love this part. And the Freeman Street Bridge is still closed. It's been like 4 weeks, and local authorities haven't been able to fix the bridge. I don't get it. I know, it's dangerous to talk about the local authorities like this, but they don't listen to this show. They actually can't listen to this show. I have it carrying on a frequency that they can't detect. So don't worry about that. but I'll go fix this bridge myself. I'm really tired of having to come in the back way. The decontamination shacks are working, and that's great, but it does burn. I don't like going to decontamination, but I also hate having radioactive incidents, so I do it anyway, and so should you. Sorry, I'm just kind of fed up with them. The bridge should be done already. And speaking of giant disappointments, let's talk about sports. New Spring City has done it again by canceling last week's nuke ball match. Man, I am beyond frustrated with New Spring City. I'm pretty sure they're just afraid to play against us because they know we'll win. We've got better players and better technology and way better water than they do. But they canceled the match citing, quote, insufficient safety precautions. What safety precautions? This is nuke ball we're talking about. Yes, it is a contact sport, and yes, some people have died in the past. And yes, the ball is made of weapons-grade plutonium, but I haven't heard any complaints yet. The mechanics of the game are really simple. One team runs the ball to the other end of the battlefield, while the other team tries to stop them by any means necessary. The team with the ball throws the ball into a flaming dumpster, and if you get an explosion, you win. And usually nobody grows a third, fourth, or fifth limb until weeks after the game. No big deal. Sorry, I know I get a little heated sometimes. I really don't like New Spring City. I've never liked it there. They act like they're better than we are because they have more money and bigger buildings and a better population and clear water. I don't know what that's about. I don't know why they think clear water is a good thing, but whatever. I don't live there, and I don't want to live there. I really like Yellow Brook City. I don't think I'd want to live anywhere else. Yeah, New Spring City also has their own DJ up there, and I've got to be honest, he's okay. Their radio station's fine, but they don't have any broadcast strength. I made a transmission relay so people could hear our radio show. Nobody outside of the city there can hear it. You have to live in the city. It's like a gated community. Yeah, we have a protective dome, but other people are allowed to come inside. They don't let anybody visit their city. I don't know why anybody would want to. First off, it's like a 12-hour walk. You have to burn an entire day to get there, and then when you get there and you're really thirsty and you get inside, they don't have water for you to drink. I know that our water is gold or yellow, and water is supposed to be purple. I get it. Their water is clear. That's just so unsettling. I don't want to drink clear water. That's awful. So their water isn't real water. Their people aren't real people. Oh, I'm not saying they're robots or anything like that. That's fine. Some of them are robots. Who cares? But they're just fake. And don't even get me started about their DJ. DJ Mathematicus. Whatever, man. Even if you wanted to listen to Amateur Hour or whatever he calls his show, you can't because he doesn't broadcast it outside of the city. Oh, I joined the mailing list for the Doomsday Country Club. Don't worry, I'm not joining the cult. I don't really buy into anything they're doing, but I totally went to that ice cream social the other day. I told you I was going to. And yeah, turns out I was right. They're a little weird, they're probably a cult, and there was no ice cream anywhere. So it was me and 9 other people and the Grand Reverend Supreme. All things considered, 10 people coming to your cult, that's not too bad these days. You're lucky if you can get 5 people to show up to anything, including a revolution, so getting 10 people to show up to a cult ice cream social that doesn't have any ice cream, not bad. Remember, this is at an old mannequin factory, so it's all sorts of weird. But the Grand Reverend Supreme was just standing on stage, surrounded by a bunch of mannequins, mumbling to himself and waving his arms around. He didn't even say hi to us. Eventually, people started leaving, and I was about to go too. And then the Grand Reverend Supreme turned around and started shouting. He said he's been communing with the Space King. And the Space King has told him when the world is going to end. I love it when I'm right. So yeah, he's talking about communing with the Space King, and I brought my field recorder with me, and this is what he had to say.
And that's why the Space King has asked us, the faithful, as we are told in the sacred text, He has asked us all to be patient and endure the coming apocalypse. For the world will soon come to a swift and abrupt end. Now follow me, my children, and wait out the coming destruction with me. For there are some that would have you believe that this world is already ended, that the end is no longer nigh, but in the past, that there was no great devastation. That's the lie the authorities expect us to believe. But the Space King himself has told me that the day is coming when the world will finally be dissolved in the glory of his liquid fire. And that day of this annihilation will be, well, it's today. Well, it seems today will be the final day of mankind on this earth. And I suppose we better make it count.
And that's when I left. So I really don't think we have to worry about Grand Reverend Supreme. It would be nice if he would contribute to society a little bit, you know? For starters, he could actually put ice cream at his ice cream socials, but I don't know where he would get it. And I guess the elementary school field trip to Dynamo Science Labs has been canceled in light of the giant metal egg that fell from space. I would assume nobody wants a bunch of children running around a high science facility anyway. Children tend to be sticky, and there are a lot of things in there that probably shouldn't get sticky. That's all I'm saying. So, since the little mutants won't be going to Dynamo today, how about you take them out to a nice evening at the drive-in theater? Of course, there aren't any movies playing right now. If we could find a new bulb, maybe we'd be able to play some of the movies people were watching before the Great Devastation. So far, all we found is a copy of Waterworld, and nobody wants to watch that. I think it's just a little too real for some people. That's probably the problem, right? You know, I'm an experienced scavenger, and even I have trouble finding things in the Radlands. Like last week, I needed coffee, and I couldn't find any. But you know who came through for me? Max the Millions. That's right, Max the Millions has anything and everything you could ever find in the Radlands. You need a hammer? She's got a hammer. How about a flamethrower? Maybe a tank? Good luck finding fuel for the tank, but if there is fuel to be had, Max can find it. Max the Millions can get you anything and everything you want for a price. She's the best scavenger on this side of the Ash border, so go pay her a visit at the Birch Boy Baby Food Cannery. It's just across the river outside of town, and I promise you can't miss it. If you want it, ask for it. Max the Millions loves a challenge. Well, it's about time for lights out, I guess. It makes sense. The generator needs some time off once in a while. He works really hard. I don't know how he generates power, I just know it's part of his biological process. Dynamo Science Labs can't explain it, and they've been running tests on him for years, but he's tired of it and he doesn't want to go back there. I can't really blame him. Just because he is personally a public good does not make him your science experiment, Dynamo, okay? Also, the guy's been giving us electricity for free for like years, so we love this guy. So thank you, Mr. Generator, for giving us power whenever we need it. It's a better public good than I can do. All I do is talk at a microphone. Without you, I would just be talking at the wall and whatever skeletons might be in the closets of this studio. You all remember that mysterious badass I ran into a few weeks ago? The one by the robot graveyard who rode a horse and had a gas mask and was pretty much ready for anything? Yeah, they gave me a data tape that was encrypted, and I've been working on it for a while, and my retro resequencer finally finished processing it, so... Taking you out today is an indie chamber rock outfit from the old Constitution state. They're called Olive Tiger, and this is their song, Tear It Down. I'm the Lone Transmitter, and we'll see you next time on Wasteland Free Radio.
It's time to close your mouth. recorded message from the SMS snail mail service for the lone transmitter. Snail mail service, where we always deliver so fast. I departed weeks ago. I hail from the glowing shore and crossed the border yesterday. I'll travel 10 days more. My burden is heavy. They call me the courier, and it's my sworn duty to always deliver. I bring notes of love, sorrow, birth, and death, and talks of peace to the reaches in the war-torn West. Curious are you of my meter and rhyme. By now you've figured it's a code of mine. Inside this I hide some secrets from view by local authorities, but my words ring true. So if you've a message for others or me, leave it at the robot graveyard, postage paid preferably. Again, call me the courier, but anonymity is my name. We've similar goals and thus much to discuss. Until we meet again.
It's that special time of year when we trade in our used and broken world for a new one just like it. I'm the lone transmitter, and coming to you live from Yellow Brook City, you're listening to Wasteland Free Radio. That's right, St. Nucleus made his annual visit to Yellow Brook and he left us all sorts of potentially radioactive goodies. He brought me a used pair of size 15 leather boots. Useless as boots to me, but St. Nucleus must know a good scavenger when he sees one. He's got some pretty good skills anyway, so game respects game. First off, he was able to sneak into my studio in the middle of the night. Now I've got booby traps and I've got alarms and I'm a pretty light sleeper, not to mention the station beast. She's around here somewhere. I haven't seen her in a while. She might be in hunting mode. But he's never stolen anything, so we don't really have to worry about him at all. And if he can get around my traps, that just means I need to step my game up a little bit. If you happen to be outside the dome today, be sure to stop and take in the sights, because small, white flakes have begun to fall from the sky. Now, be warned, this is not snow. Please don't get these flakes on you, and whatever you do, don't try to catch them on your tongue like a snowflake, because, like I said, it is not snow. These tiny, dusty pieces of precipitation are just part of the ash cloud beginning to fall to the surface. Once every few years, the ash cloud dissipates just enough for us to catch a glimpse of the unfettered earthly sky, where stars shine, and if the timing is right, you might even get a glimpse of the broken moon. I know it's a little weird, celebrating at a time like this. It's a little scary out there, especially with these new bands of raiders lurking about. Speaking of which, local bandit leader Rough Roxanne has struck again by taking to the streets with leaflets packed with useless misinformation and fake news. Maybe you've seen them. They're the ones that say, decontamination isn't real. Yeah, just undermining everybody's best efforts from keeping from having another radioactive incident. I know the local authorities urge everyone to go through decontamination, and I don't usually agree with them on things. But even a broken atomic clock is right twice a day. But no, Rough Roxanne had the nerve to put one of these leaflets on the door to my studio. Which, by the way, it's hard to get to. I already talked about that. Like, only my friends know how to get in safely, like Weatherbot 95 and the generator. I guess St. Nucleus as well. So she staples this pamphlet to my door and she wrote me a note. It says, "Dear Sir," and sir is in quotes. "Dear Sir, please refrain from speaking positively of Yellowbrook's decontamination shacks, as they are just trying to steal your skin cells to clone you. If you don't stop supporting this decontamination regime, we will be forced to take action once again. Seriously yours, Rough Roxanne. And then she lists all of her accolades. Raider Leader, Road Warrior, and Mutant Mom. Well, Rough Roxanne, we've made it over 100 days without a radioactive incident, and we've been using the decon shacks the whole time. So, I don't know what else to tell you. I can promise you that they're not stealing anybody's skin cells for cloning. The caravan of cloners isn't welcome here. They know that. The clones themselves are of course welcome in Yellow Brook. After all, they didn't ask for it. They were born that way? Or maybe not born, per se, but formed? Anyway, back to Rough Roxanne. Decontamination isn't a scam, and nobody is trying to steal anyone's skin. You have to travel outside of the city for that, and if that's something you're into, I can probably hook you up, but talk to me after the show or send me an email. wastelandfreeradio@gmail.com. And at last, reporting in from the Radlands beyond the protective dome, here's my good friend, the recycled robot himself, Weatherbot95, with our forecast.
Hello, my friend. I am truly sorry for missing that last meteor storm. I was relieved to hear no one was injured. I lost your signal when I discovered a large electromagnetic cloud in the Radlands, and it really smoked my circuits. I always carry spare components. When you've been around as long as I have, you can feel a storm coming in your titanium gold alloy superstructure built by Dynamo Science Labs. Forecast loading. Let me just print this out. Just a minute. My sensors indicate an 80% chance of acid rain next week. My metal body will protect me from the acid rain, but your puny human skin...
Come on, 95, we talked about this. That's your base programming talking, remember? We don't speak to humans like this anymore.
Apologies. I advise all residents of Yellow Brook to seek shelter beneath the protective dome. Inside the protective dome, you are all safe. But if you're planning on taking the little radtots to see a movie at the drive-in, I suggest perhaps a jacket or an umbrella. This atmosphere will most likely contain concentrations of radioactive isotopes that are also toxic to your kind for the next 533 years.
And tell me, 95, what should someone do as soon as they return to the city after being outside and being exposed to the atmosphere?
It is recommended that all humans, mutants, and non-identified people proceed directly to a decontamination station as soon as possible. They are located at every entrance to the city.
That's absolutely right, because it's been over 100 days without a radioactive incident, and we are on a winning streak here. I don't remember what the record is, but it doesn't really matter.
Protective dome failure imminent.
Well, thanks for the hopefully accurate and only vaguely threatening forecast, 95. It was good to hear from you again. I hope your circuits didn't get too fried out there.
All good over here, my friend. I am heading home, and I will see you in approximately 5 days, 3 hours, 27 minutes, 31 seconds, and... error. Recalculating.
It's cool, 95. You don't have to do math on my account. I'll see you when I see you. But where are you right now?
Approaching Max the Millions Wares and Sundry. Do you need supplies? Components for a new signal relay? Perhaps a new pet?
Oh, I'm so glad you said something. I don't need a new pet. I'm sure the station beast is still here somewhere roaming around. I haven't seen her in a while. She might be in stealth mode. But I could always use more coffee and maybe some salt. Whatever she's got over there is fine.
Roger. Signing off.
Well, I feel much better. I know Weatherbot 95 is safe. I've got more coffee on the way. Everything's looking up. All right, emails. Here's one from Anime Fan 29. Were there 28 of you already? Okay. They wrote, "What if the giant metal egg shows up outside my home, glowing and floating, scaring my children at all hours of the night? I paid good money for this cargo container, and I expect privacy. I can't sleep thinking about this. What if it's a giant baby chicken? We don't have enough giant worms to feed an entire kaiju chicken. What is Dynamo Science Labs going to do about the potential of a future chicken kaiju attack?" Well, Anime Fan 29, as far as I know, the egg is locked in a containment area within Dynamo Science Labs. You probably don't have to worry about it floating or going anywhere near your home, so you have nothing to be afraid of. Okay, well, this is the Radlands, and one wrong step could lead to your certain doom, so you do actually have a lot to be afraid of, but we don't know what the egg is. And apart from destroying the Freeman Street Bridge, it's really done no harm to anybody. And here's an email from Rainfire28. They say, "It sounds like there aren't many plants in the Radlands. Where do you get your coffee from if there aren't any plants?" That's a great question. The environment just hasn't stabilized ever since the Great Devastation, and that's just how it is. But most of us have little hydroponic sets in our houses. It's kind of hard to do, and you usually need to have some kind of an airtight room. I just use a drawer in my desk, and I can grow some little things. But Max the Millions has a huge hydroponics bay in one of their warehouses. It's awesome. So they grow coffee beans. They grow pretty much anything that used to grow in tropical environments. It's pretty cool. You can even get pineapples from Max the Millions, but they're not in season right now. You could ask me how seasons work in hydroponics bays, but I would not be able to answer that question. Okay, so I know that this is the Radlands, and we always run into weird people and weird situations, but I've got to tell you, I'm a little concerned about this courier person. They just kind of left me a message, and it contains like a code of some kind, and I still can't figure it out.
Yeah, see?
What's even worse is that the message apparently had a self-destruct protocol, so now half of it's garbled. I don't know if I can even find the code anymore. I have the original message backed up, so I'm not worried about losing it entirely, but my backup unit is hard to get to, and I just wish I could hear this better. Here, give it a listen.
Greetings. This is a recorded message from the snail mail service for the lone transmitter.
Yeah, and it goes on like that for some time.
Like I said, I have the original backed up, so I'm not super worried about it, but maybe I shouldn't be talking about a secret code on my radio show? But they did send it to me, so they must expect me to play it on my show, right? Does anyone else experience another apocalypse whenever they visit their family? Anyway, Weatherbot 95 and I usually just chill and have a drink. But with my parents in town, 95 usually takes a vacation. My parents aren't bad people or cannibals or anything, but they're a lot. For starters, my dad has a cybernetic implant in his neck that helps him speak, but every once in a while it glitches out, and all we hear is this high-pitched scream until it goes away. And my stepmom is, well, she's a sort of radiation witch. She thinks she's immune to radiation, which is possible if you're a mutant, but they're just regular humans. Dad's implant does make him a cyborg, but he'll never admit it. Starting off the new year is another band from the old Empire State. This is Head Sound and their song, Like a Painting. I'm the Lone Transmitter. Thank you so much for listening to Wasteland Free Radio.
Beast stole my breather again, just in time. If you haven't noticed, the well, the sky is falling. It's not really falling. There's no chicken kaiju, whatever problem, chicken little, whatever it is. That's not it. I swear to Higgs boson, if this relay breaks one more time, Beast, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Alright, it's fine. And that's... Oh. Hey, 95! Where's my radio personality memory card? Oh, he's not home. Right. Well, oh, here it is.
I'm the lone transmitter, and coming to you live from Yellow Brook City, you're listening to Wasteland Free Radio. So yeah, a few things quick. Weatherbot 95 sent me a message a little while ago warning me about a storm brewing in the west. And no, this isn't the acid rain from a few weeks ago. We already dealt with the acid rain, only a few people melted. Not a big deal. I'm not sure, but this looks a lot like nuclear fallout. Weatherbot 95 is safe, and he's usually not susceptible to fallout. He is a robot, after all. So don't worry about him. He's gonna stay put in Lithium City and recharge his battery anyway. He'll head back after the storm passes, and this storm looks like it's gonna be a big one. But remember, inside the protective dome, we are safe. Anyway, I got to check out the Winter Sky Festival for a minute, and what a view! It reminded me of my time on the road, while I traveled the Radlands before I lived under the ash cloud or the protective dome. Sure, I was scared for my life a lot, and I got sick like all the time, and I had to run away from like 50 families of cannibals, but whatever. But at least I could always see the stars, you know? So I went out to the Little League Park because, like I said, it's the best place to see it. And I hadn't been there in a while, at least a couple weeks. But I wanted to check on the pups. You remember, those dogs that live inside that beaten-up Chevy Corsica? My dream car? With its power windows and bucket seats? The height of Japanese and American pre-Great Devastation luxury. Anyway, I figured the dogs would have grown at least a little bit. But I did not expect them to grow multiple eyes, and oh my god, they are just so cute. I do have a favorite, of course. I've named him Triborx, because he always barks 3 times when he sees me and runs away. It won't be long before they outgrow their little starter home and upgrade to something with a moonroof, but I'm so happy I saw them one more time before they move on. I'm not really worried about them being okay during this storm, mostly because they're dogs and their instincts will take over and they're going to stay safe inside the Corsica. They're smart enough to do that. That's more than I can say for some of the people out there. So the first day of the Sky Festival was perfect, and we were supposed to pay attention to the stars. And we did. But the second night of the Sky Festival was a little bit different. I have never seen the broken moon so close before. I swear, it was like it was right overhead. So close you could almost touch it. It's, not supposed to be this close, I think. So I was kind of freaking out a little bit. Weatherbot 95 said I needed to refill my coolant tank before I overheat or blow a fuse. I can never really tell when he's joking. Like, he knows humans don't have fuses or coolant tanks. I mean, I guess some of us aren't technically human, but cybernetic implants haven't relied on fuses since way before the Great Devastation. And I don't think mine have fuses. So, the stars were cool, the moon is way too big right now, and the dogs were my favorite part of the festival. I'm sure none of you were surprised. Of course, the moon being directly overhead and closer to Earth than expected has led to some interesting developments. I don't know how many of you were science savvy, and the laws of physics have changed somewhat ever since the Great Devastation, but the moon is responsible in a large way for the tides on the planet, and the moon being so close to us right now has made the tides completely turn. Normally that wouldn't be a problem, because the ocean is hundreds of miles away. Now it's right on our doorstep. We all know this isn't the first time giant tidal waves have been a problem for society. After all, New York City was completely destroyed by tidal waves once. That can't happen again, fortunately, mostly because New York City doesn't exist anymore. Fortunately, we've only run into really high waves, which has led to an increase in surfer population, so if you're a surfer, or you want to become a surfer, go ahead and find a piece of wreckage that looks like a surfboard, and go hang 11 off of some really choice waves, brah. Right here in our very own Yellow Brook City surf shop. We actually don't have a surf shop yet, so I'm not gonna read an ad or anything like that, but like, if you're a surfer, come on down to Yellow Brook City. We actually have some waves for you. Alright, so I did as the courier asked, and I left them a message in the robot graveyard. Which, by the way, the robot graveyard got a lot bigger. I don't know why. Like, there are at least 30 more junkers, and I don't know where they're coming from. The war's over. The war has been over for a long time. But this was pretty unsettling. Weatherbot 95 would have lost his hydraulics if he had been there with me. So, I asked the courier for an interview. I don't think I'll hear back for a while. I mean, if they're from the glowing shore, like they said, that means they're at least 20 days away if they're home. But I get the feeling they travel a lot. So, I don't know. They said we shared similar goals. I don't know what they mean by that, but I guess we could discuss those goals while they're here. And maybe they could clue me in on what that secret code is that I couldn't figure out. I still have no idea. I also wouldn't mind getting another look at that giant two-headed horse of theirs. That creature was beautiful, mystifying, and inspiring. We don't see a lot of wildlife anymore. It's hard enough to get food for humans, but they're able to take care of a two-headed horse on top of it? Unbelievable. Local authorities have started a campaign to rename our nuke ball mascot. Now, we are the Yellow Brook Tanners, as I'm sure you all know, but we haven't tanned leather in a few 100 years, so I understand why somebody might want to make a change. I do like the idea of paying respect to our past, but coming up with a new name isn't really a bad idea. The bad idea is naming us the Yellow Brook City Humans. I know. Could you imagine anything more offensive? Now, I know that I've increased my broadcast range, and some of you have probably never even heard of Nuke Ball, so this doesn't even matter. And I hope that most of you have never heard of the local authorities outside of this show either, because if I'm gonna be honest, they're kind of a pain. They don't understand what it means to be a resident of Yellow Brook City or this area in general, but here's the real issue. I don't know if it's in their programming or if it's in their DNA or what, but they can't seem to understand that we are not all humans. We've got mutants, cyborgs, and robots here in Yellow Brook. So, no. I don't think we should call our nuke ball team the Humans. I'm not sure who put them in charge of our nuke ball team, but they are effectively the managers, and they do supply all of our needs for it, so they do kind of have a say here, but I don't want to be called the Humans. Personally, I think the Yellow Brook City Decontaminators would be a great name because we are so good at decontamination. As far as I know, we are the only municipality that has multiple decontamination stations across the town. Yellow Brook City is pretty safe. Heck, you could call us the Yellow Brook City safe people. That's terrible. We shouldn't use that one, but anything is better than calling a group of robots, mutants, cyborgs, and humans the humans. Let me know what you think in the comments. Oh, and on a related note, could I ask all of you a huge favor? Can you please stop building DIY nukeball courts in your backyards? I'm not just talking about the dangers of the radiation. I mean, this is the Radlands. We're kind of used to radiation. But do your neighbors really want to fall asleep to the sound of exploding dumpsters whenever you make a goal? Probably not. Yes, you might have the resources, and yes, you have the right to do it because it's your property, but just hear me out. Think of your neighbors. Just be kind and considerate, and maybe keep your plutonium-based ball game on the battlefield where it belongs. I suppose if you found a building that was large enough, you could put an indoor nukeball stadium in there. I've never seen an indoor game of nukeball. It probably won't end well, and you will probably need to find a new place to live afterwards, but it's better than the alternative of waking up your neighbors with exploding plutonium. Sorry if I sound a little ornery. If you know someone who has an outdoor homemade nukeball battlefield, could you just ask them to, I don't know, not? I would greatly appreciate it. Well, that storm sure sounds like it's getting closer. I know I'm all set to hunker down for a few days until the storm passes. I've got my emergency decontamination kit just in case the dome leaks. But this building is pretty safe. Weatherbot 95 and I sealed this place so we could survive nearly anything. I have a huge vault door that won't open unless I open it from the inside. It's airtight, it's water sealed, and I have my own supply of oxygen just in case we lose power too. And I have my battery backup. I do kind of worry about people who live outside the protective dome. Max the Millions is going to be fine. They have their own system for safety. And I know I talk a lot of shit about Rough Roxanne, but she lives outside the dome with all of her people as well, and I hope they're okay. Life barely survived on this planet, and I would like all life to survive. I don't wish anybody harm. I hope all of you understand that. Don't get me wrong, I don't like Rough Roxanne. She's a raider, and she's therefore dangerous. But as far as I know, she's never hurt anybody. I just hope everybody is safe. But for those of you who can't make it back inside the protective dome, you should check out the high school gymnasium. It should be unlocked because it's been abandoned for decades, but the high school gymnasium has most of a roof and the windows are still intact. Sure, there might be graffiti all over the building, but it's been described as pretty tasteful and a real family experience. You'll find deflated basketballs and most likely some expired red-flavored sports drinks. But it's as safe as you can be out there unless you find an actual fallout shelter that isn't already crawling with irradiated monsters. So if you can make it, Yellow Brook is a safe place, and we've got decontamination stations if you do end up getting caught in the rain. But if you can't make it, head over to the high school gymnasium. Of course, Grand Reverend Supreme has been talking about the oncoming storm as if it's the end of the world. I'm sorry, he just doesn't give up. The world already ended. It did. But he thinks the world is going to end sometime in the future, and this fallout coming is kind of more evidence for him. Now, he's not wrong. Oh. There it is. There's the storm. Okay, he's not wrong. It is dangerous, but the world has already ended numerous times. But I am a little worried about this particular storm. You see, we haven't seen fallout in a while. And this isn't just radioactive rain. This means something terrible has happened. And no, I'm not talking about any superstitious nonsense or butterfly effects. I just mean that a bomb went off somewhere. Like a real one. There's no telling where it was, but what did the courier say again? Something about the war-torn West? So I'm a little worried about this, but I haven't seen any mushroom clouds, and we had a clear sky for a few days. I feel like I would have seen a mushroom cloud if there was one. Just remember to decontaminate if you get rained on, and it's a good practice to decontaminate once in a while anyway. And local teenager Maddie Harbinger was arrested yesterday after they broke into the old Costco shopping center outside of town. Reports vary, but witnesses claim they saw young Mr. Harbinger and his friends leaving the defunct grocery chain with their multiple arms full of expired dried goods, a spiked baseball bat, and several cans of emergency evaporated water. Just add water. Now, my fellow Radlanders, as far as I know, no one has laid claim to the old store, and without locks on those doors, I don't really think it's considered a break-in. They simply walked in and took some supplies. That sounds like scavenging to me, and scavenging isn't a crime. I do it all the time. Look at me rhyming like I'm some kind of courier with a secret code. Hilarious. Anyway, local authorities arrested Matty and his friends, and I don't think they have any business arresting these kids for just trying to survive. We don't really have all that many laws here. I mean, murder is still illegal, but everything else is kind of a gray area. If local authorities keep arresting our city's youth, then they're going to run away to somewhere else. Now, it's okay if they go to Lithium City or if they run away to Max the Million's place. They'd be safe there, and we all like them, it's fine. But what if they run away to New Spring City? Then we lose all of the culture and life that they bring to us. Pop punk music, half-eaten school lunches, flaming bags of radioactive waste left on our doorsteps. I could do without the childish pranks, but all things considered, I think that's a pretty small price to pay to have a guaranteed future generation in Yellow Brook City. I mean, come on. We all had our youth, right? We all did things we're not proud of. I mean, I was a pretty good kid. I'm not going to get into it, but my brother and I were kicked out of a few towns down by the Forgotten Coast. I'm not going to tell you where or what towns. Also, it's the Forgotten Coast, and I'm not sure anybody actually knows where that is, so it probably doesn't matter. I'm just living proof that no matter how much the world has ended, kids will always be kids. Alright, I've got a message here from Literally Maddie, who asks, does the station need more staff? Maybe some people to help on the broadcast or around the station? Literally Maddie, thank you so much for writing into the show, and thank you for listening. I really do appreciate it. Well, there's always something going on with this building. I probably could use some more help with the structural damage that's left over from World War X. My studio is nice and safe and sealed, but the rest of the building is a complete and utter disaster. When I first started working here at Wasteland Free Radio, 5 of the walls were missing, and there were holes in the floor and the roof. Honestly, I think that's how the station beast got in here originally. But according to salvage law, this is her place. I just kind of rent a room and clean up after her, and I try to stay out of her way. So I guess I could use some help with the station beast. She's pretty easy to feed, and she usually does her business outside, but her droppings tend to be pretty large, and they also tend to be invisible. It's a real pain trying to clean up after her when you can't see it. It's not a job for the faint of heart. So if anybody would like to lend some assistance in my invisible animal cleanup, that would be fantastic. Well, here's an email from local authorities about the incoming radioactive storm. Anyway, so their email says, oh no. Well, I guess our decontamination stations are already at capacity. I mean, I'm glad all of you are staying safe, but I guess I didn't expect everyone to listen to science on this. Experience has taught me otherwise. Okay, well, if you can't get to a decontamination station, it's better to take cover wherever you are and try to stay dry, I guess. Anyway, stay safe and covered out there, and remember to decontaminate as soon as you can if you do get stuck outside. There might be a line if you're going to one of the public decontamination stations, though. Maybe I'll cozy up with the station beast and read a good book for the night. Guys, when it rains radioactive isotopes, it pours radioactive isotopes. That's the sound of the protective dome shorting out. And since the decontamination stations are already full, we are probably looking at a radioactive incident. Putting a black mark on our record, and you know how important that is to me. I mean, I know I'll be fine. This station is as watertight as any building in the Radlands. Weatherbot 95 and I made sure of that. I've got plenty of food, my own decontamination kit. Only one, though. So if something does happen, I know I will be fine. I hope all of you will be too. Alright, taking you out today is a band from... So, that's my proximity alarm. That means someone's coming. I swear, if this is Rough Roxanne with her anti-decontamination bullshit in the middle of a storm like this, I'm gonna lose it. Nope. No. Hey, no thanks. Please keep going. I'm not gonna open my door. I am not dumb enough to open my studio when it's literally raining radioactive isotopes outside. Okay? Thanks. Okay, this song is from... Listen, whoever you are, I'm not opening the door. I would. I really would. I feel bad that you're stuck out there in the rain. Under the protective dome, we're supposed to be safe. But I only have one decontamination kit here between me and the station beast. So I'm sorry. But I just can't open the door. You understand? Go check out the high school gymnasium. Or go hide out with Grand Reverend Supreme or something. I know he's weird and he's probably dangerous, but just hide out in his mannequin factory somewhere and you'll be fine. Okay, taking you out today. This is ridiculous. All of my friends are safe. I don't know who would be trying to get in here right now. This is unbelievable. Do I know you?
You've never seen my face. I'm known only by my voice in this place. You don't need to be such a worrier. It's only me, your friendly neighborhood courier. This promise I make, you have nothing to fear. Please let me in. It's a little gross out here.
I hope I don't regret this. Hey, could you do me a huge favor and leave your horse, in the hallway? They don't have to wait outside, in the hallway. Just, there's a lot of, fragile and sensitive things in here, and the last thing I want is horsehair in my coffee, so... Okay, as long as I keep them in the other room and keep that door sealed, it doesn't matter that they've been outside in the fallout. Okay. Oh, I can see in the camera they're holding up a decontamination kit for themselves. Awesome. Yeah, go ahead. Can you use that now, and then I'll let you in? Awesome. I don't have a mic in that room. I don't know what they're saying right now. Okay. It looks like I've got a guest for my next show, so come back next time for my interview with the Courier, I guess. Taking you out today is a new wave indie pop duo from Portland, Oregon. They're called Camp Crush, and this is their song, Shadows. Stay dry and stay safe out there. I'm the Lone Transmitter, and you've been listening to Wasteland Free Radio.
Free Radio is a JS Pitcher Media production. Written and produced by Jeff Pitcher. Additional writing by Leo Joylock and David Lilly. The music you've heard on the show so far is by 11D7, Yeah Universe, Olive Tiger, Head Sound, and Camp Crush. You can find the cast, the crew, and our musical guests in the show notes. And if you like the show, please leave us a review or a comment somewhere wherever you find us. And if you really like the show, you can support us on Patreon. If you're into bonus episodes and behind-the-scenes things, that's probably the place for you. Thank you so much for listening to Wasteland Free Radio, the SpaceX Saga Special Edition, Part 1. It's a really long title. It's okay. Remember, be the apocalypse you want to see in the world. Don't just wait for it to happen like some lazy cultist. We'll see you next time here on Wasteland Free Radio, your very last source for news.